Hi there, I'm Annika Van Rossum, the Advocacy and Advancement Coordinator at Delaware Riverkeeper Network, and I'm here for a data center report out for you. Last night, I attended the East Whiteland Township Planning Commission regarding an amended land development application for the Green Fig data center proposal. One of the biggest modifications to the application was the original square footage was about 1 million square feet. They were now going to make it 1,600,000 square feet thereabouts, and that meant actually no longer having a basement, which was in the original design, but making it all one plan with no basement. And that also included moving the generators that were planned to be in the basement to now being up above on the land. And even though they did talk about sound prevention measures, it's still going to be a problem. During the Planning Commission meeting, the applicant started to speak, and then it became apparent that the room was filled to capacity and actually over capacity, and the fire marshal said that the room either had to be brought down to capacity or it was going to have to be decided that the meeting had to be rescheduled. The Planning Commission attempted to ask those who were not residents to leave the room to lower capacity, but then activists pointed out to them that's actually a violation of the Sunshine Act. Several more attempts were made to get people to filter out into the hallway to go home and watch the live stream, but activists and many members of the public stood strong, saying they wanted to be in the room, they wanted to hear everything, and it was not appropriate or allowable of the township to ask them to leave. Discussions that we couldn't hear between the Planning Commission, township officials, and the applicant went on for a little bit. The township solicitor then did attempt once again to get a final 8 count of people to leave the room, and I do really have to commend one gentleman, a resident, who stood up and said that it was not fair, that it was not democratic, that they were actually asking people to leave under duress because they were saying if people didn't leave, they would have to cancel the meeting. And he really stood there strong and said, you have to let people be in the room. And if there's not enough room for people, then this has to be rescheduled and we have to hold a new meeting. The township did stress they were trying to meet deadlines under the municipality's planning code, which is fair, but at the same time, people had a right to be in the room. They didn't have to leave. And so, after much standing up from the community, finally the right thing was done. The Planning Commission and the applicant came to a decision to pick a new day for this amended application presentation, which is now set for March 9th. This is really important because it shows, one, the township did do the right thing and listen to their community members and reschedule the meeting when they should have. And two, it really goes to show the power of community and that people are turning out in droves and they care and they want to be a part of the process. They don't want this to just be a checklist item. They want their voices to be heard. They want to hear the presentations. They want to be involved in these decisions. And it does go to show that when you stand up for your community, you do come triumphant at the end of the day. Delaware Riverkeeper Network is watching these projects closely, and we are doing our best to be involved as much and as often as possible. You can go to our data center webpage where we have some resources that you can use for public comment, where you can learn about different projects going on, and we'll soon be updating that with even more details about the projects we are currently following. And really, the best way to always stay up to date is to become a member, and you will get newsletters and emails and great information about ways that you can be involved in protecting the Delaware River watershed that we all need to thrive and survive.